Hey guys, what's up? Stonemonk is back. Stonemonk, wow. I'm back again with another video, and thanks to manga because I haven't been on YouTube in a while on that channel, but I'm focusing my attention on this, so yeah. But aside from that, though, this is something I know you guys have been waiting for. Like after my live reaction video, I've noticed how a couple of you guys were like, the review, the review, the review. Where is it, Chirag? Where is it? And let me fix this. This thing looks weird. There we go. But the review. Here's the thing. It's now up, and this is actually the videos of the review now, but the reason why I kind of held it off for a while is because I knew as soon as I got home, if I did the review, I'd be fanboying over this thing and defending it to the death. That's how I would be if I went into the movie and reviewed it like right on the spot. But I told myself, no, I need to give myself a few days and analyze it. Like, because I remember the film vividly. Like, that's the thing is when I go watch a movie, it's kind of like it's a weird way to say it, but it's like a camera. Like you take pictures and then it's like and you remember it. Then you remember like half the stuff that happens. So or not half the stuff, but like what occurred on that day. So it's kind of like that. It's kind of like a recording, like when you're DVRing all that stuff on TV and such. So it's like that. So I kind of DVR'd the whole movie through my head, which is oddly enough a little weird, but enough with the rambling. Let's get started with the movie. Now let's talk. I mean, this is the big thing people want to talk about. It's the story. And from what I've seen and from what I've heard on YouTube, like people are either comparing this to The Dark Knight or they're calling it the new Batman and Robin. Is it the new? Is it the Dark Knight Spider-Man trilogy? Spider-Man trilogy, but of the Spider-Man franchise, or is it the Batman and Robin of the Spider-Man franchise? Personally, I think it's neither. And honestly, like when it comes to comparing superheroes and such, I think we should really stop. I mean, come on. The Dark Knight of the Spider-Man franchise and the Batman and Robin of the Spider-Man franchise. I mean, come on. Can we stop comparing like superheroes to other superheroes? I mean, each superhero has its own medium, with the exception of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. That's the whole different exception. These two have nothing to do with each other. So let's push our stuff aside and let's just focus this as a film. Nothing more. And as a comic film too, if that's something you can say. So let's talk on the Amazing Spider-Man 2. The story takes place, without spoiling anything, it takes place a couple years after, well, not a couple years, but it takes place after the Amazing Spider-Man. Peter graduates from college, from high school with Gwen. And then, at the same time, he's doing his normal stuff, he's being carefree, he's being Spider-Man. And we all know Spider-Man. He loves to joke, and he loves to be witty. And we get a lot of that in this film, both as Spider-Man and as Peter Parker. And I gotta say, the lines that were thrown into this film made me laugh to the top, because I remember, there was one line in particular, and I'm talking about the scene where, it's in the trailer, so it's not really spoiling anything, but it's the scene where his face is all like covered and stuff, and he's like hiding himself under his blanket, and then Aunt May's like, what? Peter, you look all filthy, and then he's like, I was cleaning the chimney. He's like, we have no chimney. What? It's like the scenes like that made me laugh. And at the same time, I was just going Peter, Peter, Peter. I mean, they stuck to the original, not the original, well, I guess the original. They stuck to what Peter Parker is. He's witty, he's funny, he's smart, and he's carefree. Because that's what Spider-Man is like. He's the most carefree person. I mean, obviously when it comes to him fighting his enemies and stuff, he gets serious, but even when he takes himself seriously, there's always that joke aspect to him, and that's what I like about Spider-Man compared to most superheroes. I mean, that's just me saying it, but when it comes to that, I enjoyed it, and we see where the story goes. We see where it goes with Peter and Gwen, and I gotta say the Peter and Gwen relationship thing is one of the few highlights in this movie, and it's something that I was really invested in. Like the first movie, it hits the same mark. And honestly, they go on this on and off relationship thing, and because like Peter still feels guilty about the promise he made to Gwen's dad before he died, and it kind of haunts him. So the fact that he's breaking up with her, but the fact that he wants to be with her, I mean, it's a big conflict. So I can understand where that could go for any particular person, whether they're in a relationship or not. It's like say a person like on their is like on their dying bed, and they kind of promise you to stay away from and then, well, like I can get it for Spider-Man's sake, like I can, because like he's a superhero. Like it's not that you can't date my daughter as Peter Parker. I just don't want you to be like, if you're gonna be Spider-Man, you're gonna make enemies, and if that's the case, I don't want my daughter to get in danger. So I totally get that, the fact that there's a big conflict right there, and that whole aspect is nice. I really, really enjoyed that. And then we cut to the origin of Peter's parents. The way how it was covered was really nice. Like seeing like, because the opening shot, like is of a ticking clock, which has some reference later on in the movie, but I'll talk about it when we get there. But Richard Parker and his wife just getting that whole origin story, because that's the main highlight of the first one. Was like, all right, finding out the truth about his parents, and we get that. We do get the whole fact of what happened. Like they're it's like a plane crash because Richard Parker's trying to do something, and he's saving all his stuff to Roosevelt. We don't know what Roosevelt is, but we're just like, okay. And this got me thinking, because okay, May did die. Like Peter's mom died. We get that, but and it can be assumed that Richard Parker died. But the plane crashes, it's just crashing, and then it fades to black. So I'm sitting there going like, okay, they didn't show the plane like fully crash. All it was just like tumbling down, and it was like fade to black. So that's implying something. Like when you fade to black and when you don't finish it, it's like, alright. So it's either they are dead, or at least his dad. It's either his dad's dead or his dad's not dead. I'm gonna go with the fact that he's dead, just as of this point, because we haven't gotten any announcements on the third movie yet. So once the third movie comes, and once we start getting like like filming days, not filming days, but like like casting decisions and like shooting days, and like getting like all like the set photos and stuff, then I'll start interpreting things on the third one, because that's what I did with this one. That's what I did with this one. I've been following this thing for 2 years now, so half the stuff that I predicted 2 years ago actually came true. Surprisingly enough, actually. Um, Now so cutting to the whole, like, with Peter finding out about his parents and stuff, I liked it. I mean, we all knew about the whole Oscorp thing. The whole, okay, Oscorp is evil. We got that. But just seeing Peter find out about this stuff and seeing, like, what Peter learns when it comes to his dad, like, the fact that they were going to use his research for something else, like, okay, shit's gonna go down. Like, because we know Oscorp is not a friendly place to be at. It's not friendly. But there's one line I kept in mind. Richard Parker said, "I created some it's because of me. It's like because of what I did, people are gonna think I'm a monster." And me being a Spider-Man fan, and this, I mean, the Amazing Spider-Man series is more so based towards Ultimate, and Ultimate's actually like my favorite line in it. The way how that comic book ends, oh my god, I feel sad sometimes just even talking about it. But but pre-Ultimate Spider-Man, like the good stuff. When it comes to that, there is something that happened in the comic line where, because it's this line where Richard Parker says he's like, people are dying all over the world, and all I want to do is try to help them, and it's sort of similar to that. So whatever he did, they're gonna think he's a monster. So that could possibly allure to a particular villain, which I will. I mean, if you guys have read the comics, and like I think it may refer to Venom. That may be me. It could be referring to the Venom suit, not the symbiote, just the suit, because the symbiote in the Ultimate Verse was created. So if it's referring to that, then okay. Now, do I think Venom is going to be in the next movie? No. And I'll talk about that like when we get to my predictions on the third movie. So when my predictions hit, you guys can fly out. And when you guys see the movie, just stick around for the whole review. And I'll let you guys know when that part comes. So when it came to the truth about Peter's parents, we got it. But at the same time, I still feel like we still have some mystery behind it. Like we got the fact of what happened to them. But my question is, how much more is left? Because that's what these movies are about. Like, it's kind of about like Peter trying to figure out what happened to their parents, and we get the shot. Like we get like that's how the film opens up. It opens up with like with Richard Parker and his wife. So when it comes to that, I'm like, okay, we got it, but at the same time, I feel like we still have some mystery left behind it. Going from there, we cut to possibly my favorite part about the film, and remember what I said. The Peter Parker and Gwen relationship thing is one of the few things I liked about the film. It's one of the few things I loved about the film. And the story to the Amazing Spider-Man 2, like, I liked, but there are particular moments that I particularly liked more. So, the Richard Parker stuff I liked, but I liked the Gwen and Peter Parker relationship more, because I was really curious about where it was going. And oddly enough, I was right where the ending was going to be, so. Again, I'll save that for the spoiler talk. Now, talking about Harry Osborn. OMG. When this guy shows up in the film, because he was Peter Parker's childhood friend, and just seeing these two interact, like it didn't feel like, okay, we just met yesterday. No, it felt like they had been friends for such a long time, and when something happens to him and it causes this like boom, it causes this shift. I was like, oh shit, like Harry and Harry Osborn in this universe. Oh, the minute he showed up and the minute I saw his character, I was like the way how his character was and stuff. I was like, I got really intrigued and I got really invested. I was like, I want to see where you go because we see him and we see his dad and oh my god, when we see Norman, like he's got the claws, right? And you would assume like, alright, he becomes the Goblin, but because of the way how the trailers are, it's like you can kind of tell like, alright, it's Harry becoming the Goblin. But here's the thing. Here is the thing about that. Norman Osborn dies, which is assumed because if you saw the TV spot where it says that Norman Osborn dies, then hey, there's not much more I can say on that part. But here's the thing: Norman Osborn dies, Harry becomes a new CEO, and it's interesting because you've got this big connection between Peter and Harry because Peter lost his uncle, and then Harry lost that. So it's got some similarities. So it's like, alright, so they both lost like a parent in their case. So they connect. And I really, really like that. And what happens to their friendship like by the end, it's like it becomes like really, really questionable as to where this like questionable in the sense like you want to know where it goes for the third film. And this is me without spoiling anything. So again, on the Harry like just like the Gwen and Peter relationship, when it came to Harry stuff, that's actually my favorite part about the film. Like that's probably like my number one thing. The Peter Parker and Gwen stuff was probably number two, but the main thing for me was Harry Osborn. So I was like, I liked where that was going. And now we cut to Electro, which is probably, I mean, Electro is like the third thing that I really enjoyed about this film because in a way, like think about Doc Ock and yeah, like think about Doc Ock from the second Spider-Man film. Like he was supposed to be a sympathetic character. And that's what we get in this film. He's supposed to be, he's a sympathetic character, and we're all supposed to feel bad for him. And quite honestly, I felt very bad for Max, because, it was his birthday and stuff, he was going to work, and yet everyone was going on shifts, and they were like, nope, sorry, you gotta take care of this by yourself. Come on, you guys, it's the guy's birthday. Are you serious? Really? I mean, if that was me and I was at work and people told me to, I'd be like, no, it's my birthday. No, that's not what I'm gonna do. Since it's my birthday, I'm heading out to do my own shit. Just saying, I'm not staying behind to do some cleanup and stuff. I'm doing whatever I want because it's my birthday. That's what I'd be like. But for Max, I mean, to see what happens and stuff, his character, I can just say this: he gets saved and he becomes the big avid Spider-Man fan, an self-obsessed Spider-Man fan. So getting that and getting where his character goes, up to the point where he becomes Electro, I got, again, it's like with Harry Osborn, I got really, really invested in where his character goes. And again, I did feel bad for him because all this shit happened to him because all of his co-workers were like, nope, do it yourself. We're all even like, come on, it's the guy's birthday. If it wasn't for you guys, he wouldn't have become Electro. That's one thing I want to say. And just what happens to his character when he becomes Electro and just seeing him become the villain, and it's like, it made me feel like this is probably the best Spider-Man villain, since, because I love Doc Ock and Green Goblin from the original series, but I'm pushing the original series off to the side. But of the series, Lizard and Electro, my two favorite on-screen villains for this series, my two favorite, and quite honestly, when it came to Electro and stuff, and seeing what Peter had to do, because Peter remembered Electro, he forgot for a little bit, but then he's like, all right. But seeing what Electro had to go through and such, and what happened, I felt bad for his character. So, the Electro bit I liked, but I still love the Harry Osborn bit more. So, it probably be like this. The Harry Osborn stuff comes first. The Electro stuff comes third, and then the Peter Parker and Gwen Stacy relationship comes second. And then also the truth about the parents comes fourth, in my opinion. So, overall, the film had, there were four major things that the film focused on. And, within the four, and two of them, being almost like subplots. Being the Peter Parker and Gwen relationship, and then the truth about the parents. So, when it came to that, I have to, it did feel a little cluttered. Not too much like Spider-Man 3, but I still really enjoyed it. If I had to give this a rating, between the 5 Spider-Man films, it'd be this. I still think, is this as good as Spider-Man 2? Yeah, I think this is as good as Spider-Man 2. Is it better than 2? That's questionable. I've got to see it again to really make an understanding. So, when for now, I have to say, it's either going to be number 2 on my list or number 1. That's going to be it. So either Amazing Spider-Man 2 takes the number 1 hit, or it's the original Spider-Man 2 takes the number 1 hit. Don't know about those two yet. But number 3 is definitely going to be the Amazing Spider-Man, and then it's going to be Spider-Man 1, and then actually no, after the Amazing Spider-Man, Spider-Man 2, Spider-Man 3. Hold on, Spider-Man 2, Spider-Man 1, and then number 5 is going to be Spider-Man 3, because we all know what the issues are with Spider-Man 3, so I'm not going to mention that up again. And honestly, if I had to give this a rating on a scale of 1 through 10, I'd give it a 7.5 out of 10. I really enjoyed it. But here's the thing, and this is the reason why I'm going to do a 7.5 out of 10. I kind of wish they had more time, because from what I know, they cut some stuff out from the film. Like with the first film, they cut stuff out. They cut Mary Jane out, because Mary Jane was supposed to be in the film. And Shailene Woodley was supposed to play her, which I got a little bit excited about, because I was like, alright, I want to see how she can perform as Mary Jane. And the scenes were all filmed too. But then Mark Webb decided, we gotta cut it because the Peter Parker and Gwen Stacy relationship I mean, it made sense. It was supposed to. It was because it would have kind of felt like a distraction because we still had the whole Rhino bit too. And the Rhino thing, I'm not gonna really count as three villains because like there's really honestly two because Rhino's just like a mini villain because he only just shows up at the end. Is all I'm gonna say. But when it comes to MJ, because I know she was supposed to be in the film and her part was supposed to be very very small. Here's the thing though. I would have liked to see Mary Jane in the film at least, because I heard like she was only supposed to like maybe what, like one, two scenes, and that was it. I still would have been curious as to, and when it comes to the DVD and Blu-ray release, I'm hoping they include those deleted scenes in, because I want to see him, and I want to see like okay, what her character could have done. Like if I had to interpret something, I think because of the whole on and off relationship thing between Gwen and Peter, and this is just me interpreting things, but I feel like MJ would kind of be that person to kind of help push Peter in the right direction with his relationship with Gwen. And that's just me interpreting something. So, hoping that we get those deleted scenes in the DVD and the Blu-ray, and in the Blu-ray stuff. That's what I'm hoping. And I kind of wish we got, like, because the movie was about, like, 2 hours and 20 minutes, and that's long for film. But I feel like maybe an extra 10 to 15 minutes focusing on Harry could have been, and not that I'm 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 super sewing over Harry because Harry is my top on the list, and I liked where that storyline was going. But I feel like we should have gotten more time on Harry, in my opinion, because we did get some conclusion to the origin story between about the truth behind Peter's parents. The Peter Parker and Gwen relationship thing, which was kind of like the main focus. Electro amazing, and for me it was just a Harry and Peter Parker relationship. And we got and we got it in the film. It's not like I'm saying like it was debunked or anything, but there are deleted scenes in this film. So for now, actually, you know what? A 7.5 out of 10 if I'm being critical. But if I'm gonna put some leeway towards the second movie, I'd give it an 8 out of 10. And is this as good as the first Amazing Spider-Man? Yeah, I actually think this is like maybe just a tad bit better than the Amazing Spider-Man. Like if I had to say anything, Amazing Spider-Man now might probably have to be like a 95. This one I'd probably give it like 97. So honestly, that's what I think. I will do a spoiler talk video regarding the Amazing Spider-Man 2, and that should probably hit up like maybe I'll probably have it up on Thursday or something. So just keep in mind about that. So overall, my rating on The Amazing Spider-Man 2, 7.5 out of 10. And quite honestly, like, based on where this movie ends, because I'm not spoiling anything about how this thing ends, but based on how this movie's going to end, it leaves me curious as to where this is going to go for The Amazing Spider-Man 3. And hopefully that doesn't end up like the original Spider-Man 3, because a lot of hype was built up around that movie, and we know what happened. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. But aside from that, guys, that's pretty much it. That's my review on The Amazing Spider-Man 3. 2, my bad. And hold on. Before I go, let me talk about the acting. Andrew Garfield, fantastic. Emma Stone as Gwen Stacy was fantastic. Oh my god. Jamie Foxx as Electro. This guy nailed it. I gotta say, this guy nailed it as Electro. Like, honestly, I didn't think he'd be that convincing as Electro, but seeing what he did, I was like, Max Dillon, Jamie Foxx, you earn my respect. And when it comes to Day DeHaan, oh shit, like him has Harry Osborn, okay? He's probably the one actor that got me stoked when I was watching the film and I was seeing his character. And I've said this and I said this earlier on in the review too, but just seeing his acting skills and seeing the way how he performs as Harry Osborn, I was stoked. And quite honestly, I'm very curious as to seeing, again, where the Amazing Spider-Man 3 will go. Because I do want to talk about the ending, but I want to hold it off for a spoiler talk video. So, aside from that, guys, as again, that's what I think about the acting. Like, even the supporting cast, like, you know, like, Sally Field, and Dennis Leary like popping up as like, hallucinations and stuff. I thought it was really, really interesting. And also we did get some mention of J. Jonah Jameson in this film. So I'm gonna guess that we'll get some stuff with him in the next film. I'm hoping. Please bring J.K. Simmons back. That's the only person that can do J. Jonah Jameson. You gotta bring him back. And he even said himself, he doesn't mind coming back as J. Jonah Jameson. Mark Webb, please, you gotta bring J.K. Simmons back. Because he's the only J. Jonah Jameson there's ever gonna be. And just think about it. Peter going to the Daily Bugle and getting cheered at by Jameson. Who doesn't want that? I'm just sick. Who doesn't want that? But again, I'm rambling on. So, that's what I think about the acting from the supporting cast, from the main cast, and what I think about the storyline in general. Again, 7.5 out of 10. And quite honestly, like I said before, I'm very curious as to see where the Amazing Spider-Man 3 is going to go from here on out. And I will do update videos regarding that too. So when we get the first announcement on on the cast and stuff, I'll do a video regarding that. But aside from that, guys, from shit, I'm Chirag. Don't forget to mention for more movie reviews. And I'll catch you guys later on my spoiler talk video, which will probably be up somewhere on Thursday. Peace.